Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Jabari Mongoose here for episode 9 of my Pokemon Black Randomizer Nuzlocke challenge. I'm reviewing my team right now. We got Pinchy the Drapion, BB the Celebi, Chomper the Drudicon, Love Song the Raichu, Macarena the Ludicolo, and Loki the Zorua. For today's episode, we are going to be going through the cold storage to take on Team Plasma and one of the sages that's hiding in there. And afterwards, we should be challenging Clay to get our 5th gym badge. I go and talk to this NPC first because he has the Rocky helmet. And Drudicon has a choice band on right now. But I decide that it's way more useful for him to have the Rocky helmet along with the rough skin to really punish physical attackers. Again, Awakening as my hidden item over there. Took me a lot longer to find that than usual. And then in this trash can, I get another Miracle Seed. I believe that's 3 I have right now. And then next I decided to go into the grass to get our encounter, and it's a Gothita, which I'm not upset about. My encounters are getting better and better. I've never used Gothita or Gothitelle before in a playthrough, so if the opportunity arises for me to use it, I won't be upset. And so right here, this is Loki. I taunted the Gothita because if I remembered, it only knows psychic attacks, which then it won't touch me if I taunt it and won't do any other shenanigans. Alright, we caught it. Coming up with a nickname for Gothita took a lot longer than I expected, so I decided to Google goth names for females. That's the things you Google. And I decided to call her Dusk. And then I get a Dome Fossil. I think I will do a compilation of all the different fossil Pokemon I could have gotten besides Druddigon. So I showed this match right here because this was the trainer actually just a little bit more slightly to the right. And his last Pokemon was now Alakazam. And this was enough to get Loki to level 30. Which is really exciting because now Loki is evolving. This makes me happy because now essentially my team is fully evolved and looking pretty stacked, in my opinion. There are several Pokemon in my PC that I am still considering. I'm even training some a little bit so that way in case God forbid I lose anyone, it won't take long to replace them. Here I get a Heat Rock. I don't think I'm going to be doing any Sun shenanigans with this current team. And then I get a Yellow Shard. And then I make a quick cut to behind the storage and I get the Grip Claw. And then going back down here, Sharon's already talked to me and we go into the cold storage now. So here I'm going to be running through this little, I'm going to call it a dungeon. We get a charcoal. And I get my bearings here. Now there is a TM that I just missed, but I will get that on my way back as I finish everything. And so right here is pretty standard. Getting through some fights, I test out Zoroark. So my Zoroark is a relaxed nature. Not too happy about that, but at least with Loki evolving, he's at least a little bit faster. So he should outspeed a lot of things. Maybe not most things if he were to have a neutral or a positive speed nature, but again, I do actually appreciate the physical bulk. At least, hopefully it helps him with survivability. So while going through this gauntlet, figured that this could be a good opportunity to tell a little bit more about my Nuzlocke history. I've been doing Nuzlockes, I would say off and on for the past few years. I want to say it should be probably about 3-ish years. I remember one of the first ones I ever completed was a Omega Ruby playthrough, and it was a Wonderlock. And that was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I even played it. So even after I beat the original Elite Four, I actually remembered I had 2 Pokemon left. Steven's Mega Metagross annihilated most of them, and I was barely able to squeeze out a win. I actually got more of my remaining Pokemon in the PC, and I did the post game. So I did the Delta episode, and I actually re-challenged the Elite Four and the Champion again. And surprisingly, with my new team, it went a lot easier. And after that, I did a few more things. I've been doing a lot of Soul Links with a buddy of mine. And I love doing Soul Links. I think they're a lot of fun. Not necessarily something I'm able to record currently. Mainly because a second person makes it difficult to schedule things. Especially with my current work schedule. The way I'm doing things now fits best for just me. But I've completed a Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke. That one was probably my second favorite. I also completed 2 separate Nuzlockes of both Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Heart Gold and Soul Silver are probably one of my favorite Pokemon games to play. I like Generation 2. I like the region. I like the story. I kind of like everything about it. And then I've had several failed attempts. Me and my wife have failed doing Soul Links in the past. We're currently doing a casual one of Platinum. It's a full randomizer Soul Link, just like this game. And we're enjoying that. The Soul Links I've done with a buddy of mine, we're on our 3rd one right now. Because we did Black 2 and White 2. Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't know why it took me so long to remember that. And now we're doing Ruby and Sapphire. And we've completed all of them so far. We haven't lost one yet. That's just a little bit about me and my history. So right here, I'm taking on the Team Plasma Grunts in the cold storage. Nothing too bad so far. The Giratina could have probably been scary with the Omniboost, but I feel like Drapion would have been able to handle it. I'm also doing a little bit of balance leveling because, again, the level cap for the 5th badge is, for Clay, is 31. So I'm trying to get everyone I can to level 31 as close as possible. Then afterwards, I'll just edge to 32 once everyone else is at 31. Yeah, so Raichu has the choice specs on right now. Really taking advantage of its speed. I think the choice specs is going to be there to stay on it. I don't know if I want to get rid of the quick attack. I probably should. Once I find another special move that it can take advantage of. Okay, so all Team Plasma Grunts are taken care of. Clay is going to be here to make his arrests. And at this point, there are 2 more items for me to collect. So yeah, instead of the Never Melt Ice, which is all the way back there in the original games, it's the Moo Moo Milk. And then right here, takes me a second. And I figure it out. And right here, it's supposed to be Scald. But in this randomizer, it's Fiery Dance. And I actually kind of freak out because you see me starting to use it immediately. Because both Macarena and BB can learn it. Which is insane. It's also insane that I never realized that Celebi can learn Scald. Which is a little weird to me. But I'm not complaining. Fiery Dance surprisingly fits very well with a dancing Pokemon like Ludicolo, so I find that pretty funny. And I end up working around some things. Basically, I end up getting rid of the nature. I tried to keep the ancient power, but I just decided to get rid of nature power for extrasensory. So right here, we skip all the way to me challenging Clay's gym. This trainer in particular, I'm keeping the fight on because something interesting happens here. So I've been taking advantage of the Fiery Dance shenanigans. It's been great. So I go and do it on Crustle. I should have been more concerned here with the fact it's a bug type, but it uses Rock Slide, and a crit would have clearly killed Macarena. So I was being very, very careless here. What I decide to do is I decide to hard switch. Really taking my sweet time here. Is I take a risk and I hard switch into BB because of its bulk. And I decide to go for a Magical Leaf. Right here, it leads me to assume that Crustle does not have a bug type move at this point. If it does, it probably has Bug Bite. Again, this isn't something I wanted to do. Maybe I should have just gone to Dragon, but I just did not see a clear switch on my end. But that was the scariest fight we were able to get through at Deathless. So now we go all the way down to the bottom to challenge Clay. And with my team, everyone's at 31 except for Pinchy, but he's almost at 31. And Pinchy has become my new lead because he has Toxic Spikes. But again, I keep making more and more stupid errors here, probably because of overconfidence or something. But his first Pokemon is Trapinch. And I don't know if this has Arena Trap because I didn't test it out. But he goes ahead and does a Sand Tomb after I set up the Toxic Spikes. So at this point, I start going on the offensive. And I don't get the flinch with Bite. So he gets another Sand Tomb off. And it just gets really scary. Puts Dragon in the yellow Fortunately, the black sludge is just making the residual damage even. My mistake there was I should have seen if I could have swapped, because it may not have been arena trap. But his next Pokemon is Deoxys, and here I actually stay in, because I did not see Deoxys knowing anything that could actually hurt Drapion at this point. And as far as I know, I was right, because all he did was wrap, and one bite just destroys the Deoxys. And then, so now at least Clay with his ace, which is just a Gothita. And the Deoxys was way scarier, but it's just a basic Gothita, and one bite defeats it. Which can be, I think this perfectly shows the positives and negatives of a randomizer sometimes. You have trainers that have Deoxys, but their ace is also a Gothita. So it can be harder. It's always random if it's going to be hard or easy. But we got our 5th gym badge. So over halfway done with the gym challenge. And then now I start going back up, and there's going to be 2 more things we'll be doing here. First things first, we're going to take care of our rival, and then we'll get our Route 6 encounter. So Bianca leads with a Sneasel, and I go ahead and start setting up Toxic Spikes, and his feint attack is not doing anything to me. So I take the chance here to set up another Toxic Spikes, and after that's done, I just decide to stay in for bites. Because I'm only seeing Screech, feint attacks, and agilities, I did not see a reason to switch out. But when I got him down to the red, and now I have 2 Screeches on Drapion, I decided to hard switch into Love Song, because Bianca was going to heal, and a Thunderbolt destroys it. Now her Barboach is immune to Thunderbolt, which Raichu's locked into, so this is a pretty easy switch into Ludicolo. And even with the Amnesia special defense boost, 1 Mega Drain is enough to just destroy it. And so then her Ace Aldino comes out. So here I decide to go into Fiery Dance, and she uses Attract on me. I decide to stay in because there's no damage done to Macarena yet, and he goes through the love and gets a critical hit. Bianca decides to go ahead and use another Hyper Potion, and here I opt to Mega Drain, and again getting really lucky with the love resist, and again 3 times. I've never had that happen before. Macarena is just not swayed by love, and gets through the infatuation, and is able to still stay in and take care of her Sharpedo. And then Bianca gives us Fly, which I don't have a flyer except for a Volcarona, so that's probably what he's going to be used for. And the last thing you see here is I get my encounter, which is a Torchic. So in this episode, I got Gothita and a Torchic in the PC, and I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, this Torchic is proving not to be... He's not going to be easy. So I decided to go into Ludicolo to get the Stun Spore on him. Or her. This is actually a female starter, which is pretty rare. And we catch it. And right here I decided to name our Torchic KFC. So, after getting this 5th badge, making me feel very confident here, the next episode we'll be getting a Charged Stone Cave encounter before getting to the next gym leader with Skyla. But yeah, no, this is starting to look up pretty good. And so I save right here, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and I'll see you next time on episode 10.